Yeah.
in front of the ocean.
And the ocean stays perfectly still where I live. Very strange ocean.
Yeah, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
I've got an office where the ocean doesn't move.
Wow.
Oh, I'll be right back. I forgot something. Boom, 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 boom.
I hope it's gum. Nick, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, just so you know.
Are you just fine? Are you at the college again?
Yeah.
Right on.
Tim, I don't know how to increase the volume on my machine. Oh, okay. I was afraid to mess with it. Hi, Saul. Hey, you look handsome, man. I don't know. You look like Don Quixote un hidalgo de Mancha. Ciego, amor.
Amore ciego.
You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Who's the victim today?
That'd be me, boss.
Dr. Kramer, good morning.
I don't know why I
Good
can't.
morning, or whatnot.
Let me turn it up.
It is up all the way.
Hang on, we got some tech stuff going
Are you not hearing us very well, Geshe?
Yeah.
on. Yeah, I got Tim working on it.
All right.
Yeah, I'll move. My tree.
Oh, no.
You've been in the sun a lot?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks good. My wife might drop by for a few minutes in the next 3 hours.
Hey, Ben, could you give me a little talkie talk?
Yeah, once upon a time, there was a little boy named Bacon. This is the story my kid wants to hear every night. And Bacon wanted to make a bacon apple blueberry pie. But so he went to a chef. He said, "How do I make an apple bacon blueberry pie?" And the chef said, "There's no bacon in an apple blueberry pie." And
Sorry,
and
I'm having a, it's making me have a trauma. Okay. Nick, you want to say anything? I mean, we probably have a different audience.
Oh,
Hi, Dakey. Hi.
let's see. The audience is growing. Well, I'll just say real quick, welcome back to the Mixed Nuts or the Diamond Cutter Classics Translation Program. Glad to see you all here. Glad so many people are enthusiastic about nerding out on translation of ancient texts with us. We have fun and we struggle through it. So thanks for being here to put up the good fight with us. Just for those of you who weren't here for the morning class, we're doing, this is the 17th term. So we've been doing this for about 5 years and for over 5 years. And we've finished several books. We're deep into several others. And if you're jumping in for the first time, good luck. Don't get stressed out if you don't understand everything. I don't understand everything. And I've been here every class for, going on 6 years. We don't believe you, Geshe Michael. We believe everything else you say, but not that part. So just enjoy. Have a good time. As Geshe Michael likes to say, just being here, being present for these classes will affect your mind. It's going to imbue your mind with some of the ideas, some of the wisdom contained in these books. So thank you for joining us and have a good time.
Hey, Nick, thank you. I'd like to welcome the people who are in Sedona. Some are visiting. I'm going to try to do this, Tim. Can you? Okay. This is the classroom. You want to show the outside is really beautiful.
Nice.
Red Rocks of Sedona. And especially I'd like to welcome from Chicago, Olga Kissel. Welcome. She's a great teacher. I've seen her teach many times and online. And she's originally from Ukraine. Welcome. Ekaterina Bogomolova. Welcome. Living in Toronto, originally from Russia. Inna Ivanina. Originally from Ukraine, and also nowadays she lives in Chicago, en France. And she didn't bring any croissants at all. And
Not at all.
Maria Myrtle, who's lives in Vienna, and originally from Russia. So welcome, you guys, and welcome to Peter Myrtle from Austria, Vienna. All these guys are incredible teachers, and it's an honor to have you here. And I thank you very much. There's one refugee from a place called Los Angeles, which is Rebecca Vinicor, who's been helping forever, very expertly. And then the other guys here, Maitri, my grandson, and other people. Okay, Dr. Kramer, do you want to say anything about your book? Just pretend someone's here who doesn't know about your book, and maybe you could give us an introduction to your book.
So the book is, it's called Jewel of the True Thought, but it's the true thought on the topic of accurate perception, meaning how to have an accurate understanding of reality, and in particular, two things we'd really like to come to an accurate understanding of. That is that there is such a thing as a way out of pain. There is such a thing as enlightenment, and that there's someone that we can trust to get us out of pain and to enlightenment. And we're going to spend approximately 51 years, unless Ben finally gets a little better at translation, in which case it'll probably only take 49 and a half years. But I really mean to apply myself. So that is my goal. And we're in a topic now where we're talking about the great teachers from the lineage of teaching of accurate perception. And in particular, at the moment, we've been talking about Dharmakirti, who conveniently enough is the author of this book. So he wrote this root text around 700 AD, but we're reading a modern commentary, basically a great teacher who died in my lifetime. Now the spread of ages in this group is getting much wider, not in Maitri's lifetime, but in my lifetime. And our teacher, Geshe Michael, edited the manuscript back in 1907 at the monastery, and kindly inserted the root text for us. So I'm very excited. And up to you, Lama. You gave me a fairly oppressive assignment, but I will dutifully deliver the mess that I've created. Do you want to first do a progress report?
Yeah, I'll do a progress report, then I'll turn it over to you, Ben.
Okay, boss.
Let's see here. Where are you? here. Yeah, so I like to let everybody know where we are, how long we have to go on each text. And this is a long-term project. Some of these texts are going to take 20, 30, 40 years. And so here's the progress report for Ben's text. There are 2 books that we printed. These are some of the first books ever printed by ALL about 25 years ago. And this manuscript was brought out from West China, Tibet, and was delivered to us, handwritten, and it was input. And normally, I don't spend much time on modern books because, you only get a great book every 100 years or something. Really, a really great book is only every 100 years or 50 years. But this is the greatest book on Dharmakirti. It's the greatest book ever written on Dharmakirti. And it's really unusual to have a teacher who's alive or who was alive at the time who wrote the book. And he spent many years, 15 years writing the book. And we spent years to input it, clean it up, print 2 books. And that's what Ben's working on. So the first book will take Ben about 8 years. Itself can be split into 3 books of about 450 pages each. And that's the first half. So the whole thing maybe 6 books, okay? And so Ben can finish the first book, I would say, in about a year. 2 years. And there's word counts and stuff like that, okay? And counts. So the first chapter would take about 15 years. And the other chapters, the whole thing is scheduled to take 51 years to finish this text, if we don't have any problems, okay? And we were doing, the biography of Master Dharmakirti, and I'm gonna turn it back to Mr. Kramer, okay? And you just go ahead and read it with us. And
Okay, boss. Here's where we are. I took this pretty directly from you, so this is where the assignment started, but we are on the topic of the 12 practices of the ordained. I've highlighted the word garbage unhelpfully. I'm sorry, let me move you guys out of the way so that I can remove this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here are the 12 roughly, and then we're going to go through them. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to, the list I mostly took from you, but our translation of these may or may not change as we go through the descriptions, I imagine. Do you want to sit and stare at this list, or do you want to go ahead and scroll down?
Let me just take a quick look at it.
Very good.
I forget why we're doing the 12. What the context?
Oh, that's very much addressable, which is that Dharmakirti. Dharmakirti. Sorry, Master Dignaga rather taught. Many students became very popular, and in fact created many students of his own, not one of whom did not follow the 12 traditional practices of the ordained.
Okay, cool. So all of Dignaga's students, Master Dignaga's students, followed these 12.
And this is an earlier translation that you did of the list from a footnote from Illumination.
Okay. So let's look at let's look at this translation. Sunyomba. So these are 12 practices that a traditional monk would have done in the time of the Buddha. And I have to say that monasteries have changed a lot. You know, for example, in the old days, you were supposed to sleep under a tree. You were not supposed to sleep in a big monastery. And you were supposed to take your clothing out of the garbage. And that's why monks' robes were split into pieces. And nowadays they go and they buy an expensive piece of cloth, they cut it up into pieces, they sew it back, they pay more money, and it's all got weird, you know. But here's the original hippie lifestyle of monks during the Buddhist time, and I like it. Okay, so Sunyomba means don't keep food, ask people for food. Okay, go beg for your food. Tenchik means eat in a single sitting. Don't eat more than once a day. Chimilan means don't eat after 12 o'clock noon. Okay, and I kept that. In the monastery, you have a choice to keep it or not. After you're ordained, you can keep it for one day or you can keep it for the rest of your life. I kept it for 15 years during my diamond business, and it's wonderful not to eat dinner. So that's called Chimilan. Chugasum means to wear the 3 religious robes and of a monk. Chingba means wear only robes of inexpensive material. And if I always say, if the robes were made nowadays, they would be jeans. They would be old jeans. You know, they should be something that's cheap, available. I bought a pair of jeans for a couple $100 online. And then somebody from Diamond Mountain told me Geshe, I can get those at Costco for $12. And okay, so wear only rolls of inexpensive material. Get the material, chakdar tu means get the material for these clothes from the garbage that other people have thrown out. Gumba Shing means if you want to, you can stay in a cloister, a small monastery, or 8 at the foot of a tree. You can sleep. If you're traveling with the Buddha or something, you just stop at the nearest tree and sleep under that tree. That's called Chungba. Log up man means don't put up a tent, like sleeping out in the open. Okay, you can put a cloth over your head if it's raining, but you don't build something. Okay. Tsokpu means to never sleep excessively and sit without leaning. 11, Dritripa means get your stuff out of the graveyard. People used to throw bodies out on the ground and with their clothes on. And the wild animals would come and eat the bodies. And then you had to fight the wild animals for the clothes. Okay. And then number 12, your mattress should be made of grass and leaves. Okay. Nothing. So that was the real ancient tradition. So Ben is working on I think you've been working on a little bit of a commentary here. You want to go into it and explain it?
Well, yeah. Well, what can I say? We're going to go through each of these 12 and elaborate. And it didn't turn out the way I expected it to. Also, I expect that I'm just dead wrong a meaningful amount of the time. But it seemed like some of these were variations or options that you could kind of opt for some of the 12 and not all of the 12. And there are a bunch of versions of each of the 12. And here's the first.
Okay, cool. Double Sunyamala, practice of begging for your food is the first of these. By the way, Ben, I was thinking that it'd be nice for you and Nick to, we'll talk about it. It'd be nice for you to introduce the work you're doing on the database, if, you know, in one of these classes. Sunyamala, Nyepe Chokpe Sunyambatang. Yeah, Nyepe Chokpe Sunyambatang. Tarki Longani. I don't know what this means. I have to check it out. I have to look it up. Nyepe Chope, I think means food that you might. I think the chokpa here. I haven't read this, but I believe that chokpa would mean allowable, and nyepe chopa means food that you find somewhere, like old food that's thrown out or something like that. And tarki longwa, I would think something that you also that you obtain by begging.
Well, okay. Right, but maybe he but maybe he does explain this below, right? He gives a dongbon and
Oh, there it is. Okay. Ning shak chitu dewe kimchi ni tamne se langte nongchu. Yeah, so ning shak chik means for a single 24-hour period. Delaware Kim, household that you have a connection with. Chik ni tamle, you don't go to 12 households. You go to 1 or 2, only 1 or 2. Okay. Kimchi ni tamne, only from 1 or 2. Otherwise, you could go to 20 houses and collect food. Chingne say lante, longche, and then you partake of that food. Okay.
Makes more sense than what I came up with.
De penje mi long nyampadam. And then you're supposed to think to yourself, okay, the nyamba means the intention should be that you shouldn't seek any further food. You eat the one time from the 1 or 2 households, and you don't, and your intention should be that you won't ask for more than that. Nipani, the second kind of targi longa means kim sangen midomba tarchaksu longa. It's very difficult language, but I would guess it means you shouldn't consider. Chaksu, tarchak means, so tarki, I think here, Ben, means take the food in order as you walk down the street. Mm-hmm. And don't skip the houses that have lousy food. Okay, like don't go to the first house and the fourth house. Tarkipa here means, I think it means here, you should request food from the first and second house. Mm-hmm. And then the next week, maybe from the third and fourth house. But you're not allowed to pick your houses. And you're not allowed to, like, oh, this lady cooks better than this lady. I think I'll go to that house. Okay. You're supposed to go down the street in order. Okay. That's Targipa. Okay. Kim Sangen means don't make any distinction. I think Domba here would mean compare. Okay. So don't compare. Mm-hmm. Hold makes better food, which household makes worse food. Mm-hmm. Rather, tarchak means go in order down the street and take from the houses in order.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Wow, these are long. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, boss. I beat my head against this. Nick helped me. I yelled at him a bunch. I was so frustrated.
This is old language. Where did we take the commentary from? I don't remember.
Oh, well, sure. That part I can easily answer.
Isn't it Geshe Wangchuk?
Which is our classic favorite.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
And by the way, if you've ever been involved with the Gold Clubs, which has saved ALL's life, you should be proud that we have this text, because this text, we didn't have a copy anywhere. And we found some pieces in St. Petersburg, and we found some pieces in Mongolia, and we found some pieces from China, and we put it back together. So extremely the best text ever on all 3 sets of vowels, which are Pratimoksha vowels, Bodhisattva vowels, and then secret vowels. Yeah, and that book explains all of them perfectly, briefly. Okay, and we should that's what we should translate next with Seiji. Don't tell him. Well, actually, I have a sexier choice for him. His book is going to finish this term, and he's going to be famous. You probably won't be able to talk to him much.
I know. He doesn't want to talk to me.
All right. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Let's look at this, Ben. Yeah. Eating in a single sitting. Tengi ta jenki den chipa. Chui ta jenki den chipa. Seki ta jenki den chipa damsu. Yeah, there's three versions of this one sitting practice.
Hmm.
One's related to the seat. One's related to the water. One's related to the food. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I like your translation. Does he go further into it? Oh, he does.
Yes.
Okay, good. All three are equivalent in that you don't eat more than once in a single 24-hour period, right?
Oh. That's not clear to me. I believe you.
Let's go through it.
Okay.
The de sumni means this in all three of these.
Oh.
Nin shak chiktu in one single 24-hour period. And you gotta say 24-hour period, okay? It's not a day is not clear enough in English. It's a 24-hour period.
Okay.
In it, because otherwise you get snacking late at night, which is what how Geshe got his COVID tummy, which I'm trying to work off. Nisha chiki, say len chikle misawa. You don't eat food more than len chik one time. Okay, I think this len is misspelled. I'm not sure. Misawa tsungkyang. Tsung means all three are equivalent.
Okay.
That you don't eat more than once in a single 24-hour period. Okay.
Okay.
And then he's going to clarify the three. Tangbuni in the first of these, which is supposed to relate to ten, right? What's that mean?
See your seat. Sitting.
Yeah, your seat, like the seat you're sitting on. Tangbuni. Se sawiten dele langne misanyamba. How did you translate that? Let me see. Just sit for your meal. All right. Decided you're not. Yeah, good. Yeah. Once I get up from this seat in which I'm eating this one meal, I won't eat again. I won't eat further. Okay, that's good. You translated that well. Nipe, this is the one that's supposed to relate to
water.
Water. Good. Nipe. Ten dele ma lang yang kashawas kashel we chu lang ne.
Yeah, this was not a term I was familiar with.
Kashelwe. What's shower? Did you look it up, Vince?
Yeah, right. So it seems to mean something like that. I don't know if it's a strange way of saying drink, but it seemed like everywhere I looked, it seemed like it meant like washing your mouth with water.
It's brushing your teeth.
Oh. Okay.
Now, okay, so before you get up from that one seat,
yes,
eating your meal, once I rinse out my mouth, and this should be BAS, okay, shall we? Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. So once I drink this water, in order to rinse my mouth, which is like brushing their teeth, I won't take another meal after that. Okay. So once I do my final mouth rinse, I won't eat anything after that. That's nice. I like that.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. By the way, I would have preferred if it said something like kashel water. After you take the water with which you intend to rinse your mouth. See what I mean? That the instrumental here is a little uncomfortable.
Okay.
Anyway, here's the third one, which is supposed to relate to
eating.
Yeah. By the way, the spelling of kashelwe in the last sentence would really work well for the sentence before it. Instead of, so I would put BAS, comma, BA apostrophe I in the curly braces. Yeah, because in the next sentence, it's more comfortable. Remember I said it wasn't comfortable?
Yeah.
In the next sentence, it is comfortable. So I think this should have been way. kasha wei. Okay. Then it becomes, after you lift up in your hand the glass of water with which you are going to rinse your mouth, you should decide no more meal after this. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So kash, tendere malangshing, before you get up from that seat, okay.
Okay.
Before you get up, even if you don't take the water to rinse your mouth, okay. Say seki kam tama. Oh wow, this Ming is misspelled. It should be MID, which is a rare word that means to swallow. Okay, it's not Ming. Okay. By the way, the only other MID, I'm sure Word knows for $100 in Tibetan. There's only one MID.
Mipa? Mipa?
Yay! You didn't get it.
Asizopigopsis?
It's the first part of Milarepa's name. Okay.
Oh.
It's Damka. It's MID or MI. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I was working on it today for some other reason. Okay. Shawichu Malangyang Seki Kam Tama Mine. Once I what? Seki Kam Tama.
Once I do that, once I take a single bite of food?
No, once I meet.
Oh, once I swallow that first bite of food, eat so much as one.
Tama.
Last. Sorry. The last.
Once I swallow, even if I don't have a glass of water for rinsing my mouth, once I the last bite of food, I'm not eating again today.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Okay, quick recap. Okay, so they are the same intention. I'm going to get to a certain point, and then I'm not going to eat any more food. In the first case, it means when I get up from my.
Day, by the way.
Sorry.
I have this intention every day, but it doesn't work.
I have yet to develop this intention. So in the first case, as soon as I get up, I'm not going to eat again. In the second case, after I rinse my mouth with water, I'm not going to eat again. And in the third case, as soon as I swallow my last bite of food, I'm not going to eat again.
Yeah, and in the third case, it's implied that the water was not available for some reason.
Okay, cool.
Woo! I've never read this, okay? So
and that's why the young, the chu malang young, like even if
I'm not able to take up the water.
Okay, cool. Whoops. Oh my God, everything's spiraling out of control. Here we go. Cool.
Yeah, this is sexy. By the way, this is a good Vinaya text. And, there's a Vinaya text that I dream about by Lodu Lexan that I would love to translate, but it would take 100 years. Anyway, Sumba Chimi Namala, avoiding food in the latter part of the day, do chipa dang sokruma ni damoni. Okay, we know it now. We know he's going to explain things, so I'm not going to guess what it means. Do chipa means a single time.
Yeah.
Sokruma means appropriate to be stored.
Oh, stored.
Yeah, this is the same root as sok as on sechu, meaning keep stuff together. Yeah.
Okay.
Sokruma ni. I had a great sechu with Peter and Maria, by the way. That's one of the best ones I ever had. And anyway, I won't describe it. Damani, the first one, which is called at one time, Shak Chitu. Let me see your translation. You avoid the latter part of the day.
Right. Because, or in the sense that.
In one, in a single 24-hour period, right? Ninshak Chiktu. Okay, good.
Okay.
What's Turungise mean? Do you guys remember?
The appropriate time?
Yeah, it's food which is legal for a monk or nun, but only at certain times of the day.
Wow.
So the word is time-sensitive food. Okay, Turungse. Okay, so And by the way, there's certain exceptions about men, which allow for sokjo.
If it's medicinal food.
Yeah, if it's medicine, you can store it and you can use it. It's not turung. So certain kinds of medicine are not turung. They should not, it's not necessary to finish them before noon. So turung, time sensitive, also means you should eat it before noon or you should throw it away.
Okay.
So in this case, Ninsha Chiktu in a single day, Turung Geshe, time sensitive food, which means normally should be finished before noon. Jitsam Gupa, that's a very important word. Let's see. Yeah, you only eat what you need. Perfect translation. Yeah, you should teach Geshe Michael about this. Only eat what you need.
I can only report what the book says.
Yeah, I think you're picking on me. Jitsam Gupa. By the way, if you think we're picking on you, you have the blessing to read these books. That's a famous thing. If you think the teacher is picking on you, you're a appropriate vessel.
All right.
Okay. All right, Jitsam Gupa.
Adam.
You take as much time-sensitive food as you need for the next 24 hours. And Chinlen du chi tu jate. And you bless all of it at the same time. Okay. You do the blessing ceremony for the food at one time. Okay. Like it's very important to offer anything you eat, you know.
Okay.
And I'm like this. I'm like, I mean, it's an instinct now. It's not very thoughtful, but it should be an instinct that you bless what you eat or drink before you eat or drink. You offer it to the Buddhas or something. A cheap way to do that in the Tantra is put your root teacher at your heart and say, here you go. Okay. I like those simple ways. Okay, Chinan,
is that specifically, is time appropriate food specifically necessarily in opposition to medicine, or are there other examples of non-time sensitive food?
Medicine, some medicines are not durung. Some medicines can be stored, and some medicines have different time limits that you can keep them around the house.
And is that what the implication is of this?
Here normally means to be eaten before noon. Yeah, it means appropriate for certain times of the day. Turung, okay. Okay, only appropriate for certain times of the day. The opposite of that is almost always a medicine which you are required by your doctor to take every few hours or something. Okay. So then
the householder puts in a blender for you.
Yeah, yeah. Sawatsamne. Once you start eating, okay. So here tsam means once you start eating, okay. Tsam means to initiate an action, okay. Tsomba. Once you start eating. Chi later on, milen.
You don't take any.
Yeah, good. Okay. So that's the first one. That's called one time. That's called one time later not eating.
Okay.
Now the second here is called storage okay. Sokruma. Storage is okay. Sokruma. Okay. Ninsha chitu durungi se jitsam gopan langne jinam rinshin chade sour sambane chimina. What? This is thing. Ninsha chitu turungi se jitsam gopan langne jinam rinshin chade sour sambane chimina. I don't know why he's talking about this. I gotta think about it. It's supposed to be sok room, which means allowable to store. Okay. And ninsha chik one 24-hour period. Durug, you say jisam gopa lang. You take as much food as you might need, okay? As you might really require. And then you do a series of blessings, okay? Rimshin, you do a series of blessings. And I assume what he's talking about is, you take some food, but because you are ill or you have some medical condition like that, then you're going to be allowed to eat in the evening. Okay, something like that. All right. And that is an exception that's recognized in the Vinaya. Okay, so like, I don't know, if you have a stomach problem and you can't eat a large quantity of food, then you can eat a little bit before noon and a little bit after noon. It's not meant to be, it's not meant to hurt you. It's meant to help you. If you're a person who responds better by eating little amounts of food all day, that's fine in the Vinaya. Then that's considered medicine. Okay, so I would say here, Jinlan Rimshinja, do the blessing of the food the first time you eat, bless it again the second time, bless it again the third time. And if you start to eat, if you intend to eat 3 times today because you have a medical problem and you have to, and then you can do 3 blessings on the food in the morning, and then you can start eating the first one. And even if you go ahead and eat a second and third one during the day, you have honored Chimilin. You have honored the intention of not eating after noon. Okay.
Because you did multiple prayers when you got it.
I mean, you in the morning, when you took your first meal before noon, and you said, I'm taking my first meal. I intend to take 2 more meals. I hereby bless all 3 meals because I'm sick, because my doctor said I need to eat 3 times. So it's not meant to be the original Vinaya. What happens in all religions is some fanatic gets a hold of it and they shoot you if you eat a second and third meal. And the whole intention was to be healthy and to save your time. But if you have a medical condition or you're the kind of person who gets sick if you don't eat, Veronica has to eat. The doctor told her, eat every hour or 2 and eat something small. Because she that's her diurnal cycle. That's her daily cycle. And she has to eat like that. Or else she just can't function. So it depends on what your doctor tells you. It's not meant to be punitive. Okay, yeah, it's not meant to be a punishment. All right, let's go to number 4. This is hopefully easier.
This one is right, but it's shorter.
Feels like it's going to be easier. Chiga sumbani, chiga sum soa chamala cheching, soa yo che shenam chamiru minla, tape yo je dan koe yo che kiku mi chama. Oh, okay, good. Okay. All right, I'll take it this way. The 4th is wearing the 3 religious robes. Good. Chuga sum soa chama. This means you keep the 3 main religious robes and do this. Che ching. Soa yo che shenam chamiru. Well, you got a double negative here.
Do not keep other things that you should not.
What'd you say? Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You got it. So yo shenam chang min. Actually, the point of this next sentence is it's not the case that it's inappropriate to keep other things that you need to live your life. You see what I mean? Like a water strainer. You see what I mean? Or an extra robe as a sleeping bag.
Oh, so it's minla. So it isn't mirungwa to have Shenam Chung, to have other things.
Yeah, double negative.
Okay.
It's not inappropriate
Okay.
to do other things
Uh,
you really need, like a mosquito net. If you're in the jungle in India, it's not inappropriate to keep something else that you need to live in a healthy way. So, okay. Flakpe yoche ton koe yoche kikue mi chamo. But you should never you shouldn't keep articles of cloth or clothing.
okay.
And there's two cases here.
Yeah.
Shouldn't keep clothing which is either flakpa or koa. Okay, and flakpa means extra.
Excessive, yeah, okay.
And I was writing a book recently, Katrin, and I was thinking about the nature of desire. And so I got a good pair of shoes. I like them. And my wife found out I like them, and she went and got me another pair. And she said, well, when the first one wears out, you can keep the second one. And then I'm like, well, maybe I need a third one, it's the nature of desire that you're planning for the next one, even though you might die before you use it, right? And so flakpe yoche means extra stuff. Yoche means stuff. Yeah. So you shouldn't, and by the way, it does modify ke. So clothing, which represents extra clothing, extra stuff, okay, like a second monk shawl, because the cloth might not be available next year, okay. And then koa means, I'll take it to be, we are allowed to wear certain articles of clothing which are necessary at the moment, like a rain jacket, okay. There's a special charkep, which is it's an oiled piece of cloth with oil on it that stops the rain. And they hand them out before the monsoon in the ancient Vinaya system, and it's allowed. So that I would call koa, means special needs stuff, but you're not allowed to accumulate it. You can't say, I'm going to keep, they hand out the rain cloths couple, like a week before the rainy season, and then you're supposed to turn it back in at the end of the rainy season, so you don't start accumulating stuff in your monk's house. Okay.
So then, does flakpe distribute to koa? Is it flakpe yoche and flakpe?
So there's two different examples here.
Okay.
One is clothing, which represents backup clothing, and then clothing which was issued to you for a particular need, koa, and then the need passed, and you should not accumulate those things. You should get it back.
Okay.
And there's a date by which you have to give back the rain cloth, and like that. Okay. All right, boy, this is tough. Let's
I
look at.
noticed that as well. Yeah.
I think logic might be easier. Ngapa chingwani. Wow, this Luke is misspelled. You tell me how I know.
Tamche Luki.
Because it says Luki Bell, right? Isn't cloth made of sheep or like a?
Yeah, but there's another indicator here.
Oh, I see. Luki.
Oh, the key.
Yeah, after S, you cannot have a G. It's
cool.
Y. Yeah, so the Luke is misspelled. It should be L-U-G, as Master Nick pointed out. And
it should be L-U-G-S. This is what this is.
It should be L-U-G.
Well, L-U-G, that's
that's the animal.
okay.
Luke system with the S, right? So
right, okay.
like Galupa. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Ngaba Chingwani. Good Tamje, Luki Pale Chepa.
So specific.
Now you should only keep, which is chung. You should only keep clothing which is made from the wool of sheep
Yeah.
And you should not changwa other kinds of clothing. Yeah. Other types of cloth. Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess, and I think the point here is like silk, okay? Something that's more expensive than wool. Wool itself in some Vinaya context is considered expensive as opposed to cotton. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Drupa Chakdar Trupala. Yeah. Chakdar Tur means to dig around in the garbage bin.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call that? Dumpster. Dumpster diving. It's called dumpster diving. You only see the person's feet. Okay. Chakdar Trupala. By the way, Tur means amidst. Amidst. So you're supposed to find your clothes amidst the garbage.
Okay.
Chakdar means garbage. Chakdar Tripala. Torwa Chak. Wow. That dung is dar.
I knew it. Okay, that makes sense.
Good job.
All right. Darn it. Yeah.
So by the way, maybe your guys are getting a sense that to be a good translator of ancient books, you have to smell when there's a mistake. And that's extremely hard. It takes many, and you can't do that. You can't be a translator.
Yeah. I struggled because I didn't want to believe they were going to do it repeatedly, and so maybe they're about to do it again. But
yeah, oh yeah, they did do it again. You can fix that one too.
Yeah. Yuck.
Yeah, and I don't know. The person typed dung 10,000 times. Then they got the bar and they said, this must be dung.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's why the Greek was done in the Philippines, for example. They didn't Greek people to type it because the Greek people would fix it subconsciously. They did it in Korea and the Philippines so that there wouldn't be this cultural bias of a person who knows the modern Greek. Okay. We went, I originally offered this job to Thailand people. And then I asked the monastery if they wanted to do the typing. And they said, yeah. Okay. So Drupa Chakdar Tripana. Torwa Chakdar Tripadan Dutsik Suchepe Chakdar Tripadutsik. Yeah. So Torwa means thrown out by somebody. Mm-hmm. So digging around in garbage thrown out by somebody. And this is Dutsik is interesting. I'll give $100 to anybody who can connect it to the fire offering.
The 3 times you offer in separate intervals?
Having a bad evening. I love it. This six has a different meaning. It's not word. It's not word. Okay, forget it. This word spelling of sick doesn't mean word. It means a joint of the finger or the joint of the
reeds.
Yeah, the reeds. And the joints in bamboo, which are called sick. Any kind of what do you call that, Nick? Reed, like bamboo that has these joints in it. That's considered auspicious because it represents many years of life. Each joint represents another year of life. So when you do the fire offering, for long life, we always use anything that has natural joints in it, like bamboo or reeds, okay? So Tutsik Suchepa means divided into periods, okay? Separated into periods, okay? Tutsik Suchepa, okay? Chakdar. Now, why the second kind of dumpster diving is called periodic? I don't know. Let's go see. Okay, let's go see. Here's the first one. Shenki torwe cookie tumbunam. Kuwa trupa kagyawa so tsipa kuwa trupa. I don't know what that means. Did you look it up? Kuatuba. Scavenged?
Yeah, something like.
Because, yeah, I don't know this word. Okay. Kua. Yeah, I don't know this word. Kagyurwa means what? That means to diet. D-Y. Okay.
Color.
Kadogyurwa.
Yeah, color.
To change the color. Okay. So you take white cloth, which has been thrown out by somebody, and you are allowed to dye it purple or saffron, depending where you are. So you take, dumbo means pieces. Dumbo means patches, small pieces.
Yeah.
Kuadrupa, I don't know this word. I have a feeling it means to dig it out of the garbage or something.
Okay.
And then you're allowed to dye it to the appropriate color of a monk or nun, okay? To sok chepe good chunky. You are allowed to chung. What's that mean?
Keep.
Yeah, you are allowed to keep that kind of cloth. This key is at the end of a sentence, it's always but. Yeah, at the end of a sentence, always but. But, what's that mean, Mr. Kramer?
You can't keep any other sort of cloth.
Yeah, good. Okay, good. So that refers to garbage which was discarded, okay? Now we want some kind of garbage which was time sensitive again, or divided by time. We don't know why. We don't know what they're talking about, okay? Nipani Shengi Dawa Shi Yanchi Longche Simbeko. Oh, okay. The second means you make heat cloth and no, which has been. You see what I mean?
Okay. Which someone has been using for at least 4 months.
Yeah. You're not allowed to have a new piece of cloth. You're not allowed to have new clothes. So if you're smart, you get a really good pair of jeans, have your sister wear it for 4 months, and give it to you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was so that in that way it's time divided. Okay. Yeah, you can use cloth which has been already worn by somebody else for 4 months. Yeshe. Yeah, or more, right. Or more. But key again, what do you call that?
Disjunctive.
Disjunctive key. But you're not allowed to wear other things. Okay, good, nice. You did a good job on this part.
Probably at time, I'm afraid.
You think?
We are exactly 1 minute over.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We'll pick up at number 7. Okay.
Cool, boss. Thank you very much.
You did a really good job, and this is very difficult. As we saw with Xiaoping's text, Vinaya is the oldest language that we deal with. It's all 2,500 years old, 25 centuries old. One data Perla with his short of sota, the dropped of March had pierced to the rota and bothered every vein in switch lacur of which virtu engendered is the floor.
Is that James Brown?
Chaucer. That's only 500 years old. So imagine 2,500. That's English. That's normal English 500 years ago. So multiply that times 5, and that's what Ben's trying to read here. Okay. Cool. Good job, Dr. Kramer.
Boss.
Yeah, sushi to you too. All right, take a break, you guys. How much time we got, Nick? 20 minutes?
2 minutes technically, but let's take 5.
All right.
And then Mr. Seiji's coming.
Hey, Seiji.
Thanks, Geshe.
You're very.
Thank you.
I was so happy today. Veronica said, "Why are you so happy today?" I said, "I'm back with the nuts, man." All right. See you guys.